episode of Heat 'em Up. We haven't done this in a long time, so I'm excited to get Trent one-on-one. We're going to talk about the Miami Heat, and we know last night they lost to the Sacramento Queens by 1 point, and there's multiple reasons why they lost, Trent, but we know specifically the same issue is happening over and over again, and we can't use injuries as an excuse because, yes, Jaime was out. He was sick. It's one game. Kevin Love, yes, he's been out for personal reasons. He's 35 years old. He's only playing 10 minutes per game. So we are healthy in terms of our core. We got Jimmy, we got Bam, we got TNT, as they like to call him, with Tyler and Terry in the backcourt. We got Jovic. We got everybody, basically. So we can't use that as an excuse. But the third quarter is still an issue, and it's not just this season. And it's happened 5 out of the 6 games. It's happened against the Hornets and the Pistons, but they're terrible teams. So we do what we do. We take care of business, which is good against the bad teams, but we're 0-3 against playoff contending teams. We're 1-3 at home, Trent. So what are your thoughts just on the outlook of the Miami Heat? We have a big 6-game road trip playing against 5 teams that made the playoffs last year. The only bad team we're playing again is Detroit, and Detroit even looked good. Cade's looking good. Ivy's looking good. Stewart's looking good. Duran's looking good. So what are your thoughts on the Heat last night, the third quarter, just like the issues in general, man? Because I'm frustrated with this team, and I'm being real because sometimes you call me delusional sometimes and too optimistic, which I am, but I'm also real. Like, I'm going to talk shit on players when they're bad. I'm going to give them kudos when they're good. We're mediocre. We're 3-3. We're mid. What are your thoughts?
So, yeah, I mean, listen, if we win the third quarter, we're 6-1 this year. Just think about that, guys. If we win the third quarter, we are a 6-1 team, and then the whole conversation is totally different about this Miami Heat team. When we look at the Knicks, we lost 116-107. We lost the third quarter by 13 points. We had 22 points, and they had 35, which is unacceptable. Then the game that just passed by the Sacramento Kings, I believe it was 37-17. So we got outscored by 20 points.
Yes.
You're not gonna win games like that at all. And then the Orlando Magic, of course, they just dominated us throughout the whole game. It just felt like. But then the teams that we beat, like you brought up, they're teams that are not going to be in the postseason. The Wizards are not going to be in the postseason. The Hornets are not going to be in the postseason. And these other teams are just not going to be in the postseason. And so when you look at the Miami Heat schedule, you got all playoff teams. You got the Phoenix Suns coming up. Then you got the Denver Nuggets. You got the Timberwolves. And then you got the Pistons in the group stage, which is obviously the in-season tournament. And then you got back-to-backs with Pistons and Pacers, and then you play the Pacers again on the 17th, and then you play the Sixers. So this stretch right here is going to tell me everything because there's only one team that did not make the playoffs last year, Amir, and that was the Detroit Pistons in this stretch. And what this season's telling me is against the good teams, what are we? We're 0-3, and against the bad teams, we're 3-3. So if that trend continues, and I hope it does not, that means if this happens and we're just going by the schedule and stuff like that, we'll be 3-4, 3-5, 3-6. Then we beat the Pistons. That means we're 4-6. We lose to the Pacers back-to-back, and we lose to the Sixers. So that makes us like 4-9 right there, Amir. 4-9 around there.
Is that what you predict?
No, that's not what I predict. I'm just kind of saying when you look at how everything
could happen, yeah, right.
Because they haven't beat a good team this year. We just haven't. The Suns, I'm going to be honest with you, is going to be a tough game. The Suns are very, very good. They're coached well this year. I think we could beat the Nuggets because they don't have Aaron Gordon and they don't got Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray's in concussion. Aaron Gordon's out for a couple of weeks. The Timberwolves is going to be a tough game. And then obviously the in-season tournament. I'm not saying we're going to go 4-12. I'm just kind of saying like we just haven't really beat any good teams. So that's my concerning part about it. And then also, Amir, we got to look at Coach Spo. A third quarter struggles is on Spo. I don't care what anybody says. It's on Spo. You know why I say that? You're the head coach. You go into the first half, you come into the game with your adjustments. You have to change your adjustments according to how the game is being played. And that's why it's called halftime, to change your adjustments and go into the second half and win the game. Spo's getting outplayed in that third quarter, whatever you want to call it, every single game. And like you said earlier, we beat the bad teams even struggling in that third quarter because we're better than them. But you can't struggle in the third quarter against a good team because we're not better than them. We have to win. We have to compete. First quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. And when you look at the first, second, and fourth quarter, it looks like we're dominating. But that third quarter plays a big, big factor. So we got to look at Spo, and we got to win at home. Home should be your bread and butter. We're 1-3. You can't lose home games. That's how Boston was so good. They had home court advantage throughout the whole playoffs last year, and they were great at home. We got to be great at home. We can't just be great at away. Just can't afford that. So that's what I would say from now.
Yeah, and it's not like, yes, to your point, if we also didn't get outscored by 20, by 13, by 20 something against the Magic, we could have won those 3 games and we would have been 6-1 to your point. But also the other issues that we're dealing with that we didn't deal with last year's free throws. Again, Spo is an issue too, so we're going to call him out for making mistakes. Like, it's not all on him on the third quarter, but he's not making the right adjustments and he's putting out the same lineup. Like, again, that's on the starters. That's partly on Jimmy for waiting till the fourth quarter to step up, but it's still on Spo for not motivating or having his team ready after halftime for some reason. Also, other mistakes that he made was the playing Josh Richardson for 21 minutes. I understand getting him minutes because he's been hurt. He's rusty, but why play him more than Duncan Robinson, where he's finally having a good game, where he's hitting 3 out of 5 threes, right? Like,
no,
Duncan played
3 for 3.
3 for 3. You know what I mean? But like, also,
Yeah.
like, give Jay Rich like 15 minutes, but like, why do you give him those extra 6 minutes? That's one issue. The other issue, obviously, is when the Heat are up by 1 after playing bad defensively against the Kings, where, you know, DeMar got that and 1 3. They had Malik Monk with a wide open freaking hammer dunk. Like, why, after you're still up by 1, 9 seconds to go, there's a timeout called by the Kings, do you not have a bigger lineup? But also, why do you have Terry and Tyler in there? And Pele's fine. We like him because, like, he had a great game. Wasted. He's a good defender. He was playing good against De'Aaron Fox because Terry was getting cooked by De'Aaron Fox all night, especially that third quarter. So I'm not upset that Pele was in there because he's good defensively. But why is Haywood not in there? Why is Josh not even there? You gave Josh 21 minutes. At least Josh is 6'5" and known for his defense. Like, why is Terry and Tyler in there when we need a defensive stop, right? That's like the biggest thing. Like, screw the size with the rebounding piece, because I know Sabonis kind of pushed off to get that rebound, but whatever. I just don't understand those mistakes that Spo made. Another mistake was, I don't know if it was a mistake having the rookie inbound the ball with 0.7 seconds left, because we had a chance to get a shot off, not just like a 0.4 where you have to like throw it up like Derek Fisher did against the Spurs, catch and shoot immediately. You had time to gather your shot and shoot. So when they're having trouble inbounding the ball, right, one, you have a rookie passing that, so that's a lot of pressure for him. 2, why the fuck did you not call a timeout? You had a timeout to burn. You see that we can't inbound the ball after 3-4 seconds. Call timeout, Spo. You want Pele to call it? He's a rookie. He's just trying to get the ball in. So what do you do? He found Terry at the freaking half court line and he takes a 35-foot 3. So those are mistakes that Spo made. The other issues, again, which are concerning, are free throws. Again, scoring in general. We scored only 110. Like, yes, now we upped our scoring per game because we've had higher scores the last few games, but we're still 23rd in points. That's bottom freaking 8. Like, rebounding has improved, but it's only 6 games. Anything can happen. Like, we need to wait till there's been 20 games where one game doesn't skew the averages, right? Like, if we shoot lights out and score 120 points per game, we're going to be 15th. But we're still a bottom team in scoring, and rebounding is still an issue, even though we're like 15th now. We were 26th. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on the scoring, the rebounding, the free throws? Like, those are other issues too outside of Spo.
Well, what I do want to say is real quick too is, like, having Josh Richardson in the game for 21 minutes, his plus minus was a -8. He didn't make one shot. He had 4 fouls and 3 turnovers. It's just alarming to me because it's like, why are you in the game? Like, let's be for real. Josh Richardson had a good stretch. He has not been good for the Miami Heat since last year and this upcoming season. At the beginning of the year, he struggled. He started to pick up a little bit after, but he just honestly, Amir, it's not a good pickup. Like, let's say it how it is. It's really not a good pickup. Simple. And then closing the game, I seen Michael Malone. I was watching the Nuggets the other day. They took out Michael Porter Jr. You know why they took out Michael Porter Jr.? Because he's a terrible defender.
Defense.
You would assume, right? You would take Tyler and Terry out. You said we had a timeout. If we have a timeout, that means you can get your offensive players back into the game. So why are you have Tyler and Terry in already? That just doesn't make sense to me at all. This is the little things that you can kind of see as a ball watcher, ball knowledge, or whatever. Just watching the game is like, we all know they're not great defenders. Why the hell are they in the game? And we're playing small. Whatever. We lose the game. Okay. Now we look at the team and we look at this, like the free throw stuff and the rebounding. Khalil Ware. Why is Thomas Bryant playing? Let's be for real. We brought in Khalil Ware to be a player that's going to play with Bam. Look at Zach Edey. The dude just dominated his best game, Amir. So I don't get it, man. We got to start playing Khalil Ware. And this is the last thing I do got to say to you, Amir, real quick. Think about it. Kevin Love will be back and Thomas Bryant will be playing. Are they planning to have Kevin Love and Thomas Bryant play for the rest of the playoffs? That's what you're rolling with, Amir? To be your backup big? Think about that. Kevin Love is not going to play much minutes, and Thomas Bryant is not good.
Yeah. It's an issue, and Khalil Ware might not be the answer.
He's not playing now, Amir. He's not playing later.
Well, of course. But I'm saying, he might not be ready in general this year, not even until next year, maybe. We'll see.
But Zach Edey's not ready, and he's still a starter. He's not ready. I'm just saying. There's a lot of stuff, but let's end it on the positive note, Amir. We're still third or fourth place.
In our division or the East?
In the East.
That's how bad the East is right now?
Yes.
I mean, again, it's only 6 games.
We're
still third?
Yeah, we're third.
That makes it even more frustrating that, again, if we beat, let's say we still got smoked by the Magic, first game of the season, the game against the Knicks, they're a freaking good team. They're going to be a top 4 seed in the East, right? That's fine that we blew that because we were up by 13 in that third quarter. So not only did we get outscored by 13 and blew that lead and went even into the fourth quarter, but losing that game against the Kings, who are 10th last year, they're going to be like anywhere from 7 to 9 range probably this season. That's more embarrassing. Like, even though the West is always stronger, like that's a game that you shouldn't have given up, in my opinion, because I still think the Knicks are a better team than the Kings are going to be, even though they have 3 solid good players. And DeMar was a good pickup, man. Like DeMar, he's a professional scorer. He cooked us. So yeah, I'll take that as a positive note that it's still early in the season, but I'm getting tired of saying it. Like, it's only been 3, it's only been 4, it's only been 6. This is the same trends that we've seen. And it's worse because we're still bad in the third quarter, like the last 3 years. We're still a bad scoring team. We're 23rd in the NBA. We're still a bad rebounding team, even though we're 15th right now. We were 26th last week. Like, things will change quickly because we're in single-digit games. So you still have those issues. The biggest concern is free throws. We're freaking 29th in the league. We were top 5 last year at 88%. We're at 72% as a team. That's alarming in its own right, I think. So if we get injured, which we typically do, it's been too early right now where we haven't. Imagine Tyler misses 2 weeks. That's like 6 games. And that's you're not your favorite player, but you got to give him credit, right? You're not a fucking crazy, stupid, dumb, delusional hater that you fucking hate this guy no matter what he does. You've been giving him props to saying, all right, you're like me. Tell me what you've done lately. If you're good and you're someone I don't even appreciate or like, whether it's on my team or not, I'll give you your credit, right? I'll give you credit. You do that too. Imagine him missing 6 games. He's going to miss games. Imagine Jimmy. He's going to get some rest eventually. He might miss a game. If Bam, even though Bam has been up and down defensively, we lose Bam for 10 games. With these added issues that are still trends from the last years, we're cooked. We are cooked if we're injured because we're healthy finally in a small sample size, and we're still struggling. But positive note, we're 3-3. Like you said, we're 3rd or 4th in the East. That's insane. Before we hop off, last question on what do you think the Heat are going to do on this road trip? Are they going to, what's your prediction in terms of wins and losses?
Well, I think I expect my team to come out strong against the Suns after losing a game like that. I really want you beating the Suns and the Nuggets. I think the Suns will be a tough one, but I think the Nuggets is very beatable. So I'm going to say 1-1. And then you play the Timberwolves. That's going to be another tough game. It depends how Jimmy plays, to be honest. If Jimmy's going to go 4 points, we'll lose that game. If Jimmy goes off, we'll win that game. So it depends on Jimmy. So I'm assuming that Jimmy's going to go off. So I'll say we beat them. Then we should beat the Pistons, and then we split with the Pacers. I think we split with the Pacers, and then the Sixers, Joel Embiid, Paul George, and Tyrese Maxey will be playing that game. So best bet would be like 3-2 or something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
6
6
games. We play Pacers twice.
Yeah. So 4-2. 4-2. We got to at least go 4-2.
I think we'll go 3-3. I think we'll beat one of the Suns, Denver, and Minnesota. I think we'll go 1-2 from that combination, and then we have Detroit and the Pacers twice. So I think we'll beat the Pacers once, Detroit once, and we'll beat probably, let's say, Phoenix. So I say if we beat Phoenix, lose to Denver, lose to Minnesota, beat Detroit, beat Pacers, lose to the Pacers. I think 3-3. So like if we can end this road trip 6-6, then we'll be okay. If we go 2-4 in this and are 5-9, then we're trouble. Because that's, again, we're healthy and there's all these issues that we can't beat playoff teams. We're struggling at home in general. It's not like we're going back home. Oh, home sweet home. We're back off a big road trip 2-4. Like, we haven't won any games at home besides one game against the Pistons. So yeah, man, let's hope we go 3-3. Ideally we go 4-2. That'll be probably the best scenario that I see. So let's hope for the 4-2. But anyway, before I hop off, I want to make sure you guys subscribe to my channel. Obviously, I'm pushing to 2,000 subscribers. Don't forget to subscribe to Trent's channel, Miami Heat Network. He's pushing for 5. Also, look at Top Notch if you want to hear about Diddy, Beyonce, the NFL, the Miami Heat, the NBA in general. Go follow Trent on Top Notch as well. Thanks for topping on, man.